beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
Didn't graduate? I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
That guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
Captain Wally J's about to take you to boot camp.
It's the riveting science and tech show that keeps you up to date with the hottest gizmos on the block and revealing the illustrious and innovative visionaries in Zimbabwe. So much to see, you'll keep swiping.
This cherry red beauty is the Dairy Auto M7 mini electric car.
They've designed our brute force incubator board.
Look at what we've got here.
Solar powered scarecrow was part of the project that I was supposed to complete.
Catch Swipe every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294. Get the picture? In a world where music transcends boundaries, where rhythm and melody unite the hearts of people, comes a show that celebrates the power of music like never before. Get ready to dive into a sonic journey that will leave you mesmerized and yearning for more. Welcome to the captivating world of Z Vibes. Vibe to it, baby.
It's a Friday, the 6th of June 2025. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on Newsplus. My name is Francisca Msheche and these are your top stories tonight. President Mnangagwa today launched an empowerment scheme for war veterans which comprises $2 million tractors and vehicles. The scheme is part of his pledge to address the welfare and economic empowerment of the freedom fighters. That story and more coming up on Newsplus. We shall also look at the latest piece of legislation which now categorizes all illicit drinks containing ethanol as harmful substances. A drug and alcohol rehabilitation expert will be joining us live to discuss the significance of this move in the broader fight against drug abuse in the country. Newly promoted Major General Walter Tafumane has pledged to share the knowledge he acquired over the years for the betterment of the force. And in sport, Warriors Kosafa Camp has been hit by a flu bug. That story and more in our Look at Sports news tonight. In news in great detail, President Mnangagwa has allocated $2 million tractors and vehicles to war veterans as part of his pledge to address the welfare and economic empowerment of the freedom fighters. The president pledged to support and empower the war veterans during the launch of the Presidential War Veterans and Empowerment Scheme at the City Sports Centre. He said he will be handing over the vehicle to the Ministry of War Veterans and acknowledge stakeholders who have been supporting the empowerment programs.
In a historic meeting, war veterans gathered to voice their concerns directly to President Mnangagwa. These men and women have dedicated their lives to serving the nation, and today they sought assurances. To their call, the president responded.
Today, I am disbursing Kupa an additional $2 million towards the War Veterans Empowerment Revolving Fund.
The president emphasized the need for equal sharing of resources, particularly in the mining sector where more resources are being mobilized. He urged accountability during the distribution of the resources across provinces, emphasizing that the schemes should benefit the rightful individuals.
Apana sekuru kana mzukuru. These things are for the people.
The theme of the event, honoring, respecting, recognizing the past and shaping the future, dovetails the government's commitment to the welfare of the war veterans. The president called for unity among war veterans, a symbol of togetherness. He commended those who are excelling in agriculture, a backbone of the country's economy. Minister of Veterans of Liberation, Monica Mavunga, also commended the president for the commitment.
We appreciate the government support towards the welfare of veterans of the liberation struggle as we continue to receive funding for education, funeral assistance, and health services.
ZANU-PF Secretary for War Veterans, War Collaborators, ex-detainees and restrictees Douglas Mahia believes today's engagements rubber stamps President Mnangagwa's mantra of leaving no place and no one behind.
Arisisiri kuwa, Comrade President, kuti mukati memoyo wenyu mune vakarwa honde chimurenga tine nzvimbo mumoyo menyu.
The same sentiments were echoed by some of the war veterans who were in attendance, expressing gratitude to the president.
Siyabonga upresident nge-empowerment program yakhe.
Tiri kuzwa kufara nezvataitirwa napresident kupiwa minda nemari dzekuti tiite maprojects.
Tiri kunzwa kurumbidza Mwari uyezve kuti ndi president asinganyepi.
As the country reflects on this pivotal meeting, it's clear that our veterans deserve ongoing support from both the government and the community. Their sacrifices and unwavering commitment to the nation are a testament to their unparalleled political consciousness and vigilance.
On to some parliamentary issues. The 57th Plenary Assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, which commenced on June 1, came to a close today, marking progress towards transforming the regional parliamentary body into a fully fledged regional parliament. The week-long plenary meeting in Victoria Falls focused discussions on harnessing artificial intelligence, as well as presentations on reports on various issues agreed upon in the last session held last year. Our reporter Sharon Munjenjema has more.
As regional legislators sipped champagne and unwound on a scenic boat cruise along the Zambezi River, the serene atmosphere hid the intensity of the discussions that had dominated their week. Yet even as they took a moment to relax, the serious business of transforming the SADC Parliamentary Forum into a regional parliament remained a pressing concern. The decision to transform the SADC Parliamentary Forum into a regional parliament was made at the 41st SADC Heads of State and Government Summit held in Lilongwe in 2021. However, changes in government and parliament composition since then have delayed progress on the goal. Despite these setbacks, SADC Parliamentary Forum leaders believe they are finally making headway toward achieving this objective.
We're quite happy that finally we've got there after almost 15 years of negotiation and parliamentary diplomacy with the various heads of state and government within the SADC region. And the delay, of course, it was caused by change of governments. Once we thought we had got there, unfortunately, elections with the new government coming in, and we'll start all over again.
Reports tabled during the 57th Plenary Assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum indicate that some progress has been made, although certain institutional processes are still underway.
Most importantly, we also had reports on the status of how members are moving towards, assessing the protocol that would finally enable us to become a fully-fledged parliament. Though the decision has been taken, but there are certain institutional, things that have to be done by different member states, member parliaments, to ensure that that becomes a reality.
Apart from discussions on harnessing artificial intelligence, the 57th Plenary Assembly also considered motions on various regional issues. After a demanding agenda for official business, legislators took some time to enjoy the resort city of Victoria Falls. Many were left charmed.
The hospitality by Zimbabwe has been awesome, actually, very exciting. Been received very well, looked after. Right now we are on a cruise on the Zambezi River. It's very nice.
When established, the SADC Parliament will initially function as a consultative and deliberative body without legislative powers or lawmaking authority.
As the SADC Parliamentary Forum takes steps forward towards becoming a fully fledged regional parliament, stakeholders expected to enhance regional integration and citizen participation. For ZTN News, I'm Sharon Mujijema in Victoria Falls.
Moving on with our stories, the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage has officially classified as harmful liquids any alcoholic beverage which contains ethanol such as tumbwa, musombodia and other illicit drinks. The declaration was made via statutory instrument number 62 of 2025, which was published in today's Government Gazette. This move aims to protect public health by reducing the availability of potentially hazardous substances. We are now joined live by rehabilitation expert Tekmo Mazuruse to discuss the move to amend the Harmful Liquids Act targeting illicit brews. Good evening, Mr. Mazuruse. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsplus. Now, how significant is this act in dealing with the drug and substance abuse scourge?
So I believe the Harmful Liquids Act speaks to policy and legislation in the fight against drug and substance abuse. For a long time, we have been worrying as to how these drugs have been finding their way into the country. Yes, the demand is there, but it was equally being matched by supply. And I'm happy that our government has promulgated this act, which is going to go a long way in limiting the supply of drug and substances on the market. The hope is that we really put everyone to task in terms of complying to this very important legislation. Drug and substance abuse fight is a fight that should involve everyone, and government has done its part. It's now for all the other players, including development organizations, community organizations, community leaders, to also see to it that we really comply to this very important policy position.
While this is a significant move, what else do you think has to be done?
So with the Harmful Liquids Act in place, I think we still need to do more in terms of providing support towards treatment and rehabilitation. Some are definitely going to be lapsing, and it's very important that beyond this ban on harmful liquids, we also provide as much support towards rehabilitation of those that are survivors and victims of drug and substance abuse. Let's ensure that treatment is accessible to all. We also need to offer family support for those that have members who are survivors and victims of drug and substance abuse, in terms of counseling, in terms of making sure that they have everything that they need to really, conquer this scourge. Equally important is the need for, engagement of community leaders, so that we sensitize as many people. We need to raise awareness around the dangers around drug and substance abuse. Again, it's also important that we ensure that our young people are also supported in terms of ensuring that they're productive, because they say an idle mind is the devil's playground. So how do we get them involved in community development projects, in livelihoods projects, so that they are productive and in a way are able to actually sustain themselves? We also need to look into issues around mental health, the triggers of drug and substance abuse, and we plug those gaps so that our young people are fully positioned to be able to fight the scourge.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mazuruse, for joining us on Newsplus. We now take a break. Stay tuned.
Asilwela ukunqoba kuphela, kepha silwela ukwakha isizwe esinohlonze. Sekunjalo.
The National Social Security Authority, NASA, would like to inform all registered employers of the waiver of penalties related to the late submission of P4 returns. All employers with outstanding P4 submissions penalties for the period January 2024 to November 2024 are eligible to apply, subject to the following conditions: submitting a formal letter for waiver by 30 June 2025, uploading all outstanding P4 returns to current, settling the principal POBS and APWCS contribution and premiums arrears, updating employees' records to match active employees declared against employee listing. This initiative is part of NASA's ongoing commitment to enhance social security coverage while supporting employers facing financial constraints. For more information, contact any NASA office or numbers appearing on your screen. NASA, a lifelong promise.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Moving on with our stories. In other news, retired Brigadier General Walter Tafumane has been promoted to the rank of Major General. This is part of the force's efforts to enhance the nation's security by promoting senior members with skills that can add value to the service. Major General Tafumane, who will now be stationed at Zimbabwe Defence Forces headquarters in Harare, has vowed to impart the knowledge he acquired over the years for the betterment of the force. The new badges were conferred by Commander Defence Forces General Philip Valerio Sibanda.
I was in the field out there learning new skills, also being exposed in various ways, making friends, making acquaintances in Zimbabwe and abroad in a manner that I think will also help bring value to the Zimbabwe Defence Forces when I fully apply myself to the new appointment that I am getting. And I want to thank you, all of you. We are a team. We win together, we lose together. We face the challenges together. So I want to thank you. Where I may falter because of the 19 years that I have been away, take me behind a building and train me.
Earlier this week, the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority of Zimbabwe issued permits to Save Valley Conservancy for an elephant management exercise. This decision comes in response to a 2024 aerial survey which revealed that there are currently 2,550 elephants in the area, significantly exceeding its ecological carrying capacity of 800 elephants. To discuss this further, we are now joined live by Tinashe Farao, the Zimparks spokesperson, to shed light on the elephant situation in Save Valley. Good evening, Tinashe, and thank you so much for joining us on Newsplus. We would like to know what measures are being taken to manage the growing elephant population.
Thank you very much.
I think as a country we are battling an overpopulation of elephants, not only in Sawe Valley, which is part of the southeast Lowveld, and but also in most parts of the country where we have elephants or wild animals. We have 4 main elephant ranges in the country, which is Southeast Lowveld, which includes Sawe Valley Conservancy. We have Northwest Matabeleland, which forms part of Wangema Tetsi Block, and Sebungwe, parts of Gokwe, Matsadona, and then Mid Zambezi, Urungwe, parts of Kariba. Those are the 4 main elephant ranges that we have. So we have been battling an overpopulation of those animals. And as the Wildlife Management Authority, for years, we've been issuing what we call management quotas to deal with that problem. But unfortunately, the management quotas that we issue are not good enough. It's just a drop in the ocean. It's an effort to try to deal with this this problem. Ideally, what we would have done was to do culling, which deals with huge numbers. That's the difference. When you are doing culling, we are dealing with, can wipe the whole head. And we last did that in 1987, and mainly because of the pressure from the Green Movement, from people who use emotions to make decisions instead of listening to science or instead of following science.
Tinashe, we understand that these elephants will be translocated. We'd like to know what efforts are you putting in place to ensure the safety of the animals in places they are being translocated?
Before we do any translocation, we do a thorough assessment of the area where we are going to put the animals. The assessment includes issues of security, beefing up security, and many other things, looking if there's enough vegetation or forage for the animals to feed on, if there's enough water, and like I said, enough security before we do any movement. So we have put enough systems, enough security to make sure that when we move the animals to those places, they'll be safe. But it's also important to note that translocation of elephants is a very expensive process, and you all know that we don't have enough resources to carry out those translocations. And at the moment, I think in respect to Sawe Valley Conservancy, over the last 5 years, we have moved 200 elephants. 100 we moved them to Sapi Safari area, the other 100 we moved them to Urungwe. But it's not enough because we are looking at a population of 2,550 according to our last census in 2024, and against an ecological carrying capacity of 800 elephants, which means we have more than doubled what the ecosystem can sustain.
I also understand that you have been engaging with other countries in population issues. Is there anything being done to address the issue of overpopulation?
I think this issue is a continuous issue that we grapple with to make sure that at least we've been saying anyone who wants the elephants, they can come and take, so that at least we can depopulate areas where we are overpopulated. But unfortunately, through international agreements that we have, for example, the issue of CITES, there are other countries in Africa, countries, some would not even have the elephants, countries like Israel, for example, some they don't even have the elephants, pushing to say to uplist our elephants from Appendix 2, where we can at least trade and commercially benefit, to Appendix 1, where there's a total ban. The one size fits all kind of an arrangement doesn't work, because the elephant horn trade has been banned since 1989, but it has not stopped poaching of the species, and the animals continue to grow. But we will definitely continue to engage so that at least we can have a solution to the problems that we are facing.
Thank you so much, Tinashe, for giving us those insights. Moving on with our stories, government has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting good corporate governance standards in public entities, with the drive expected to continue adding impetus to the country's fight against corruption. This came out during the ongoing training and induction workshop for the new ZAC commissioners in Kadoma this week.
In the latest compliance assessment survey of 2024, adherence to standards set out in the Public Entities and Corporate Governance Act of 2018 has risen by 13%. This significant improvement is a testament to the efforts by the government in promoting good governance in public entities. Corporate Governance Unit Permanent Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Alan Choruma, says the improved compliance levels have a direct impact on the financial performance of these entities.
Last year in 2024, our compliance levels had risen to 73%. If you look at our 2024 Compliance Assessment Survey report, what this shows is that there's been a general increase in the level of compliance. There's been a general increase in the level of adherence to good corporate governance standards.
He said training and induction of Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission commissioners and management was part of the drive to promote good corporate governance in public entities.
What we are trying to do is to strengthen the good governance of our public entities. As you know, there's a positive correlation between good corporate governance and national development outcomes. So we feel as a unit that if we strengthen good corporate governance across all public entities, the resultant outcome is we strengthen accountability, transparency, disclosure, utilization of public resources.
The Corporate Governance Unit has also been working closely with the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission to enhance their capacity to promote good corporate governance. ZAC chairperson Michael Reza believes the training is significant as it gives the commissioners the direction they are expected to take.
It's also important to know that commissioners are not employees of ZAC, they are employees of the OPC. So they need to hear the expectations of their employer, what it is that he expects them to do, so that the fight against corruption can be fought effectively.
The newly inducted ZAC commissioners have expressed their commitment to fighting corruption, saying the training is an eye-opener.
So we are giving warning to all those who are operating outside the law that we are coming for you. And we are going to use all means necessary to make sure that we clean up the environment. So we urge all Zimbabweans to operate within the parameters of the law.
Corruption is not just a phenomenon that is in Zimbabwe, but it is a global phenomenon. So as a country and as a commission, we believe that by the training that we're getting today, it will help us to go a long way in combating and preventing corruption.
This training and induction is a critical step towards promoting accountability and transparency in the public entities. As the country continues to strive for good governance, stakeholders are hopeful that this momentum will be sustained.
In our court stories, the Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu trial in the 7.7 million presidential court pass-on scheme fraud case has been postponed to July 21, when the judge is expected to hand down a ruling on the bid document use contestation. One of the accused person's lawyer, Tapson Zwetero, gives us an update.
The matter has been postponed because I believe the judges have got a prior commitment. I think there's a meeting that is going on of all judges of the High Court. So the court could not sit today. We've tentatively agreed to slot the days of the week beginning the 21st of July 2025, but it is subject to the court's accepting and to the court's diary. So the court will guide us further on the date, but those are our proposed dates.
Villagers in Mandare North are excited about the development of Mukumbura border post, which they believe will open opportunities. Let's hear from the Deputy Minister of Public Works, Albert Mavunga, in Mount Darwin.
The Mukumbura border post, long regarded as a symbol of stagnation, is on the brink of transformation. With only 37 kilometers remaining to complete the tarred road leading to this remote northeastern edge of Zimbabwe, a wave of optimism is sweeping through the local community. Deputy Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Albert Tawanda Mavunga, visited the area, bringing attention to the challenges faced by this forgotten community.
The limiting factor is the river, the challenge of the river. Even nowadays, for a car to pass from that side up to here, it's very, very difficult.
For years, the Mukumbura border post has been synonymous with slow progress. The lack of a proper road has hindered access to essential services and economic opportunities. However, the impending road completion promises to connect this isolated region with the rest of the country and the neighboring Mozambique, paving the way for development.
Saka kuvandudzwa kwebhodha I think kuchatinakira pakuti tichangewo takutrada neMozambique tichitengesera nawo even kwakanaya kana pavandudzwa hatisisina time yekuti tichamira kuyambuka bhodha inenge yangova throughout inenge yangova tsepete.
Government has committed to improving the living conditions of the residents through the Mukumbura border.
We are happy to know that the master plan was submitted and deliberations are already taking place. And once it's approved, then we can then talk about investing in Fura RDC in the border post and expanding the services at the border post, which then increases the revenue of the Fura Rural District Council.
With the final stretch of road work underway, Mukumbura stands on the cusp of a new era, where dreams of prosperity and connection are no longer out of reach.
When we come back, we give you news from around the world.
Crowd goes absolutely emphatic. He has done it.
Get ready for more on Supersport, the only place to watch all the FIFA Club World Cup.
Didn't graduate. I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
The guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. In news from around the world, security forces in Limpopo have cracked a smuggling syndicate specializing in stealing vehicles and electrical gadgets, which are later smuggled from South Africa to Malawi via Zimbabwe. Police recovered an assortment of goods worth 3 million rand, among them vehicle accessories of a Ford Ranger that had been stolen in Cape Town. Limpopo police spokesperson Colonel Malasela Ledwaba confirmed the arrest and said the police were not relenting in their efforts to fight organized crime.
The total value of recovered goods is over 3 million rand. The 4 foreign national male suspects, aged between 37 and 50, were arrested and will appear before Polokwane Magistrate Court on Monday, 9th June 2025. The Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Tembi Hadeb, commended the successful operation, pointing out that this breakthrough represents a major victory against sophisticated criminal networks that have been exploiting our borders to traffic stolen goods. The collaboration between our anti-smuggling task team and private security partners demonstrates the power of coordinated law enforcement efforts.
Ghana's former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has been placed on Interpol's red notice list for allegedly using public office for personal gain. This comes after Ghanaian prosecutors declared him a wanted person as well as a fugitive from justice as he was outside the country over his alleged involvement in serial corruption cases when he was in government. A red notice is not an arrest warrant but a request to police worldwide to detain someone pending extradition. Ofori-Atta, who is said to be out of the country for medical reasons, has not commented on the allegations, but he has said he has been unlawfully treated. Moving on with our news beyond the world, the Trump administration's decision to revoke visas for some Chinese students is a self-defeating policy and has disrupted plans for studies and future careers. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said last week that the Trump administration will aggressively revoke the visas of Chinese students and that criteria will also be revised to enhance scrutiny of future visa applicants from China and China's Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Liu Xinyu, a Chinese student at Harvard University, said she and many like her are now reformulating their academic trajectories in the wake of the announcement.
Questions about the visas and academic standing and even personal safety have become far more urgent. And for the students here, I know some of my friends are also considering transfer to other university or contacting the labs in Hong Kong. So we're also seeking some backup plan. And along with this disrupt of the studies, and we're not just worrying about the future career. And there's a lot of plan being disrupted. Maybe it's not able to work in the United States anymore as international students.
A former UN Assistant Secretary General for Climate Change, Janos Pastor, has taken World Environment Day as an opportunity to underscore the urgent need to reduce plastic pollution, citing China's contributions to this effort as crucial to the global cause. According to UNEP, between 19 and 23 million tons of plastic waste leak into aquatic ecosystems annually, and without urgent action, this figure is expected to rise by 50% by 2040. In an interview with the China Global Television Network, Pastor outlined 5 solutions to help reduce global plastic pollution and highlighted successful initiatives in China.
First, we have to eliminate and substitute problematic single-use plastics. And for example, in China, there is currently a phase ban that started in 2020 and will finish hopefully this year, banning single-use plastics. That's the first. The second is that we have to start designing for reuse, recycling, and composting of the plastics.
The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that the health system in the Gaza Strip is collapsing, with the only 2 remaining public hospitals in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza's largest city, at risk of becoming non-functional. The WHO stated on the social media platform X that no hospitals are functioning in northern Gaza, calling for urgent protection of Nazar Medical Complex and Al Amal Hospital in Khan Yunis. If this hospital closed, people in Gaza will lose the opportunity to access critical medical services. Operating beyond capacity, the 2 hospitals face acute shortages of drugs and medical supplies. The organization warned that they risk shutting down due to restricted aid supplies and access routes. This closure will result in a reduction of 490 beds in Gaza hospitals, bringing the total number of beds to less than 1,400, the UN agency said. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Thursday called on the international community to keep alive the 2-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and create conditions to realize it. Guterres told reporters that without a 2-state solution, the plight of the Palestinian people will remain unsolved.
It is absolutely essential to keep alive the 2-state solution perspective, with all the terrible things we are witnessing in Gaza and in the West Bank. And for those that doubt about the 2-state solutions, I ask, what is the alternative? Is it a one-state solution in which either the Palestinians are expelled or the Palestinians will be forced to live in their land without rights? That would be totally unacceptable. I firmly believe that it is the duty of the international community to do everything to keep the two-state solution alive and then to materialize the conditions to make it happen.
Stand by for business news. In business news, Zimbabwean businesses have started preparing for Africa's premier trade and investment event, the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2025, scheduled for September in Algeria. To support this effort, Zimtrade hosted a breakfast meeting in Bulawayo today, providing local companies with vital information as the country aims to strengthen its economic presence across the continent.
The fourth Intra-Africa Trade Fair is heading to North Africa, and Zimbabwe is already gearing up. Zimtrade today kicked off its Inter-Africa Trade Fair 2025 mobilization campaign with a business breakfast in Bulawayo, drawing participation from government officials, private sector players, and representatives of African trade organizations. Speaking at the launch of the roadshow, Zimtrade CEO and Intra-Africa Trade Fair Ambassador Alan Majuru highlighted the growing demand for Zimbabwean products across the continent.
It is also generating new exporters in various aspects. Remember, our goal is to increase exports, but we also need to increase the product base, and also we need to increase the number of people who are participating in exports. So these programs are specifically aimed at doing that. But we also provide market intelligence. We've done market scans in Equatorial Guinea, in Singapore, even in Mozambique, and we've done the same in Nigeria, Ghana, and even Senegal, to give people information in terms of what is there.
Set to run under the African Continental Free Trade Area framework, the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2025 is expected to attract over 2,000 exhibitors from 75 countries. Zimbabwe has made a strong showing at previous editions, securing trade deals worth over 20 million United States dollars, and expectations are even higher this year. But the fair isn't just about exhibitions. It's a platform for business matchmaking, investment opportunities, joint ventures, and long-term partnerships aimed at boosting trade across the continent.
Statistics may help you realize that we do have a problem. Over 30% of the global natural resources are in Africa. Yet Africa only contributes 2 to 3% of global trade. More than 80% of the exports from Africa are raw. We're exporting our exports as raw. Intra-African trade is less than 15%.
Algeria will host this year's editions, and its ambassador to Zimbabwe was on hand to drum up support and extend an invitation to Zimbabwean companies.
We have a huge potential between the two countries, and I am only, let's say, 1.5 years here, but I see that in question of when it comes to mentality, we are very close. Algerian people and Zimbabwean people in mentality were very close. So this will help us to do business together, and I hope that the participants of the economical operators from Zimbabwe will be very big.
As the countdown to IATF 2025 gathers pace, local businesses are being encouraged to plan early and seize the vast opportunities the continental platform presents. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
Zimbabwe's industrial sector is positioning itself not only for growth within Africa, but is also setting its sights on global markets. This was revealed by the Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries during a Zimtrade meeting in Bulawayo to launch the roadshow for the 4th Intra-Africa Trade Fair, scheduled for Algeria in September. CZI Southern Region President Stephen Ngube said local companies are gearing up to leverage the Algerian Trade Fair as a launchpad targeting both intra-Africa trade and new export opportunities beyond the continent.
Zimbabwe is here to commence
preferential trading under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, as it has not fulfilled certain prerequisites required for a state party to do so. A key outstanding requirement is the official gazetting of the country's market access offer. Therefore, the IATF will present opportunities for private sector to prepare industry for trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area. This is particularly important given that the manufacturing sector is still operating below its full potential. The 2024 CZI manufacturing survey, sector survey, revealed that capacity utilization declined by 0.9% points to 52.3%. This slight drop indicates a growing proportion of idle equipment.
Ngube said while IATF is a key platform for African integration, Zim Industries are also preparing to tackle opportunities in the global north, seeing growing interest in Zimbabwean goods from Europe and North America, especially in value-added products. The Zimbabwe International Trade Fair echoed the sentiment, stressing that trade shows like IATF are not only about immediate deals, but about positioning Zimbabwe on the global supply chain map.
Your contributions have really enriched our understanding of the opportunities at our fingertips. Sometimes we think that these things are too far, but yet, the information that has been shared with us really helps us to appreciate that we can be counted amongst the progressive nations in the continent.
In other stories, the Ministry of ICT has urged the Postal and Communications Regulatory Authority, POTRAS, to review data protection licensing fees. This is part of government's effort to ensure that all organizations can access data protection training and contribute to making our digital society secure, ethical and accountable. ICT Minister Tatenda Mavetera was speaking at the Data Protection Officer certification, which saw more than 500 companies earn certificates.
Given that compliance is a statutory obligation, which is non-negotiable, affordability must be prioritized to ensure inclusivity. We cannot champion a digital economy while excluding small businesses, startups, and individual professionals due to prohibitive fees. In line with His Excellency our President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa's philosophy of leaving no one in no place behind, I really would like to encourage POTRAS and all the stakeholders to review the pricing structure. Training must be accessible, equitable, and sustainable. I remember there was communication which came to us to say we are going to customize and have various groups where we have the smaller groups are being given a different price. And indeed, I really want to applaud the POTRAS for also presenting that to us to say we need a review of these prices so that at least we customize according to the various groups that we have in our various societies. Well done, and thank you for that.
POTRAS Director General Dr. Gif Machengete emphasized the need for business to align and comply with data protection standards.
Compliance is not a nuisance, but a necessity in protecting what matters. Compliance is more than ticking boxes. It is the foundation of trust. Around the world, failure to comply with data protection standards has led to serious consequences. Identity theft, financial fraud, reputational damage, and the erosion of public confidence. We cannot allow the same risks to take root in our context.
Stand by for entertainment news. In entertainment news, Harare has only had one cinema for some time, leaving limited options for movie enthusiasts. This is no longer the case now, as there is a new cinema in town. Odzanai Sansole gives us more.
The cinematic landscape of Harare is undergoing a remarkable revival. With the recent opening of a new cinema, Platinum Entertainment, at Westgate Shopping Mall, the city is once again buzzing with excitement.
Platinum Entertainment started operating in April. That is 19th of April to be precise. And a lot of people are excited, for an establishment that has been shut down for close to a decade. We brought back all the energy and a lot of excitement.
Moviegoers are flocking to experience the magic of the big screen.
We have brought back completely different and upgraded facilities. First of all, we've got a 4K resolution projection. Second of all, we've got, extra comfy recliner sofas.
And this new cinema signals a significant shift in the city's entertainment offerings.
For movie lovers, we have not been getting the best of experience whilst watching a movie. That is from, a laptop, a desktop, or the phone. You have gotten the chance to, come through and, you get to have that experience, the best experience where you can actually escape everyday life to get into the movie, the real world of the movie. So it's quite convenient because, we've got free parking, and we also have that digital convenience whereby you can even order your tickets, and you can even get to see our catalog from our WhatsApp platform, TikTok and Facebook.
The curtain is rising on a new era in Harare's cinematic future, and it's an exciting time to be a film fanatic in the city. Wazanai Sansole, ZTN Prime.
House music fever will soon grip Bulawayo City as the popular Garden of House Festival is set for August. For upcoming Bulawayo music producer and DJ Josh Major, who is part of the roster, this is set to springboard his career as he looks at solidifying his place as a DJ and a force in the house music industry. The Garden of House, organized by Bulawayo Exclusive Events, has become a key celebration of local talent, bringing together house music lovers from all around. Josh Major expressed his enthusiasm about taking the stage at this highly anticipated festival.
Me headlining on this big festival, it's a huge moment for me. Let me say a highlight of my career, because I've been used to be just doing music at home, focusing more on music production. So me being given this platform to actually play my creations in front of thousands, it's an humbling opportunity. My plans for the future are simple. It's to tour the world and spreading our Afro house music from Zimbabwe out there.
Stand by for sports news. In sports news, Zimbabwe suffered a 2-0 defeat to Burkina Faso in their first international friendly match in Morocco earlier this evening. The Warriors struggled to contain Burkina Faso's pressure in the first half, conceding both goals early. Burkina Faso controlled the tempo from the opening whistle, creating several scoring opportunities, but initially failing to capitalize. Moving on with our sports news, there is a flu outbreak in the Warriors camp at Kosafa, and team doctors are still assessing the situation ahead of the showdown with South Africa. Zimbabwe are seeking to bounce back from a goalless draw against Mauritius when they take on rivals Bafana Bafana in their second Kosafa Cup group game at the Toyota Stadium in Bloemfontein on Saturday. After Zimbabwe failed to create enough chances against Mauritius on Wednesday, chances were high coach Simon Marange would ring some changes. More changes could now happen as some players are battling a flu outbreak, while Zimbabwe was solid at the back thanks to an efficient centre-back pairing of skipper Andrew Mbeba and Alan Chapinduga. The Warriors lacked the cutting edge up front. Moving on with our stories, still with the Kosafa tournament, newcomers Prosper Padera and Menzi Mazwi have opened up on their experiences.
I'm so excited, and I don't even know how to tell you to express it, but I'm so excited to be here. Yeah, it was a bit unlucky, we should have won that game, but we look forward to go to play against South Africa. But I think the game was all right, but I think we should have done much more because, to be honest, for me, I think we should have won that game. So yeah, I just look forward to the game. We don't look back, but we should have won the game. I would say, just keep supporting the boys and, give us our positive, messages so that we will keep going. But if you keep, giving us, bad results for us, it'll be we are still young, no one here, it's over 25, so it's hard for us to enjoy if you give us, bad comments or whatever.
It's been amazing joining the camp. Glad to finally be here. Took a long process to get my passport, but in the end, happy to be here, meet the boys, and they all introduced me, welcome me well. First session today in preparation for Saturday, meeting the boys as well. They all welcome me well. Felt like I trained quite well today, and I enjoyed it a lot. Just keep supporting us, thick and thin, all the way. Still loads of games to go. We're gonna keep pushing as a team, as a nation. Come on, Warriors.
New Zealand named Rob Walter to take the men's cricket team forward from mid-June. New Zealand Cricket have confirmed the appointment of Walter as men's national team head coach following the departure of Gary Stead. Taking over from mid-June, Walter's first assignment will be a tour to Zimbabwe in July, with his contract running until the end of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in New Zealand and Australia in late 2028. Walter comes in having overseen the South African white ball team until April this year, stepping down from after the Proteas ICC Champions Trophy campaign. In the world of Division 1 football, Harare City coach Razday Gutu says it will not be easy to get positive results in the season. He was speaking after a 1-0 win over Ali Sundowns on Wednesday at Gwanzura. City must move mountains if they are to regain promotion into the Premiership.
We played against a disciplined side, a very good side that was comfortable with the ball. They had good technique, they knew what they were doing, they were very confident. They made life very tough for us, but at the end of the day we have managed to get the results. What is important in these games is to get the results, whether by hook or crook. So we managed to get the points, but generally our play was not satisfactory. They had the upper hand, they dominated play in terms of positions and statistics, but at the end of the day it's us who are smiling.
In netball news, Premier Netball League side Champungu Queens this afternoon received a major sponsorship boost from Romapix Construction. The Air Force of Zimbabwe side got kits, and the company will also cater for their travel and subsistence as well as winning bonuses. Base Commander Manyame Ebes A. Commodore Ernest Matambira speaks.
Coming in of Romapix is also a testimony of the importance of the girl child in the male-dominated sporting events. As you may be all aware, the world of sports has attracted a huge following worldwide. The sentimental nature of sports has seen iconic figures leading and inspiring people across diverse nationalities. I'm sure we've also witnessed how the third player, which is normally called the supporter, rallies behind their favorite team through emotional songs, slogans, dances, wearing various artifacts, dressings, and even raising their flags to identify themselves with their favorite team.
Romapix Communications Manager Tanaka Sitima and Champungu Queens Tafadzwa Matura speak.
What we have partnered with the Air Force of Zimbabwe, making sure that their welfare is taken care of. We're still in communications with regards to how we're going to do it, but we have put in plan an amount that's amounting to $10,000.
Tukufara isusu seChampungu Queens nezvataitirwa neRomapix. Morari yedu iri pamusoro. Ende zviri kutoratidza kuti kana magames ese tichatamba tichaidadisa semadadisiro ataita avatiita tatenda.
That concludes our news bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsplus. My name is Francisca Msheche. We now leave you with the weather. Have a pleasant weekend.